In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I transform a single long video library into over 100 ready-to-post clips using this exact workflow. I'm walking you through the entire process I actually use, covering the necessary research, the smart automations, and the small bit of creative polish that truly makes everything sing. Think of this as creating a powerful engine that continuously churns out social content for you, even while you sleep. Here's a fundamental truth. Most people believe content creation is 90% creativity and only 10% logistics, but that thinking is completely backwards. For consistent performance across platforms, it's really about 80% research and strategy, knowing which specific pieces of your long-form content will actually capture attention. The remaining 20% is pure production, and once you nail down those research rules, production should honestly become the easy part. This is where a tool like Vizard beautifully solves the entire production half of the equation for you. It automatically finds those high engagement moments, turns them into perfectly vertical clips, and then assists you with scheduling and publishing. But before we even hit that automation button, we absolutely must talk about the research side, because skipping this step just creates 100 forgettable clips. Let's use the example of a skincare creator who has a massive backlog of long tutorial videos and hours of live streams. Your competitors are the usual suspects, the big polished brands and the established creators pumping out high production videos. They are incredibly useful because they serve as benchmarks for what hooks, calls to action, and video lengths actually convert viewers. I keep all that crucial competitor intelligence organized within a single simple Google Sheet, logging brands, channel URLs, and their top performing content. That initial sheet then completely drives the entire rest of the content creation flow we're about to build. The first real automation step is simply pulling all those raw video files from your archive and competitor sources. For me, this means reading that manifest sheet, then using a scraper or API to gather all the necessary video URLs from my channels and the competitors. The point is to centralize every single long-form source file you have into one manageable location before moving on. Once all those URLs are collected, the second crucial step is to run every video through a thorough analysis process. This analysis extracts the full transcript and, more importantly, it segments that transcript into the 3 things that truly matter for short-form content. Hooks are those critical first 3 to 5 seconds designed to immediately make someone stop scrolling their feed. The body is the 1 or 2 concise lines that deliver the actual core value the viewer is looking for in that short window. And finally, the CTA is that essential nudge at the end, telling the viewer exactly what action you want them to take next. I instruct the analyzer to return the transcript intelligently, split into these 3 labeled chunks for every single potentially interesting moment it finds. This pre-segmentation means I am never guessing where the best cut points are, because I already have clearly labeled candidates ready to go. Now you might be thinking, aren't there already tools out there that promise to do this exact analysis for me? Yes, some tools attempt this, but they either make the initial setup far too complicated, or they start charging you per clip like it's some rare digital asset. Others force you into a manual nightmare where you still have to scrub the video, pick timestamps, export, reformat, and then re-upload everything yourself. Vizard's real sweet spot is that it automates the clip discovery while giving you much better, smarter defaults for hooks and optimal clip durations. It actively finds those spike-worthy viral moments for you and slices them instantly into vertical-ready clips. That small difference is what separates spending an entire day editing versus getting a huge batch of usable clips in just a few minutes. Back to the workflow. Once I have that table of candidate moments with timestamps and confidence scores, I create a small script bank next. This bank is essentially just a list of short captions, alternative hook phrasing, and different CTA variations for every single timestamped segment. I intentionally create multiple caption and sound combinations for every single clip so I have assets ready for rigorous A/B testing later on. For example, taking one skincare clip showing a lip treatment, I'll generate 5 unique hook lines to start it differently. These variations might tease results, call out a common user pain point, reference a current trend, or use a humorous approach. It's the same core clip getting 5 completely different ways to be introduced to the audience, which is how one video generates so many testable assets. This is absolutely where the magic of Vizard truly shines brightest in the entire pipeline. You feed Vizard the long video, along with those time-stamped segments, or you can simply let the AI scan the whole thing for moments automatically. The tool then auto-edits those viral clips using its internal intelligence, selecting the best cut, reformatting to vertical, and repositioning the framing just right. It even goes the extra mile by suggesting dynamic caption overlays that pop up right where they need to be seen. You can batch select dozens of moments at once and request a set number of variations for each specific moment you choose. I typically request 5 variations per segment, maybe a different first frame text, a different opening audio clip, and a unique end screen graphic. Multiply that 5 variations by dozens of moments, and you quickly find yourself in the triple digits for usable assets without touching an editor. A quick but important note on sound. Some competitor tools restrict you to limited music libraries or nickel and dime you for every track used. Vizard, however, lets you easily swap audio, use the original sound from the video, or integrate trending background tracks seamlessly. This flexibility matters immensely because sound is easily 50% of what the algorithm prioritizes for reach. The exact same short clip can perform wildly differently depending on whether you pair it with a currently viral audio track or not. Now let's tackle scheduling, which is the other massive bottleneck where so many creators unfortunately get completely stuck. You can generate 100 perfect clips, but then you are forced to manually post every single one daily, which is simply not sustainable for consistency. Vizard's built-in auto-schedule feature solves this by creating an intelligent post queue based on your defined frequency and time windows. You can even program rules like prioritizing testimonial hooks on weekdays while pushing humorous content out specifically on Fridays. The scheduler can then automatically optimize those posting times based on your past performance data, removing the guesswork entirely. Competitors either push you towards separate, clunky scheduling software, or they offer bare-bones tools with zero predictive AI capabilities. Also, the content calendar inside Vizard is an underrated feature that provides a single surface for total oversight. It's a single screen where you can see every scheduled clip across all platforms, tweak captions on the fly, or rearrange the entire flow. Many other platforms show a calendar, but they make you re-upload assets if you want to mass edit captions or swap out a clip entirely. With Vizard, you click a date, swap a variant, and the system automatically maintains the correct analytics continuity for that post slot. If you are running an agency or managing multiple creator channels, that feature alone easily saves you hours every single week. Let me walk you through a hypothetical production batch so you can clearly visualize this entire system in action. Start by pointing the system at 4 long-form videos, maybe 2 live streams, and 2 polished tutorial episodes. The analyzer then finds approximately 30 strong candidate moments scattered across all those source videos. From those moments, I then request 5 different script and caption variations for each one to maximize testing potential. Vizard auto-edits each moment into vertical clips and produces 3 distinct audio variations for every single clip variant. If you do the math, that's 30 moments times 5 caption sets, times 3 audio tracks, totaling 450 potential posts. Realistically, I don't publish all 450. I select the top 120 based on confidence scores and a quick manual review. Then, I tell Vizard to schedule those best 120 clips over the next 60 days at a cadence of 2 posts per day across both TikTok and Instagram Reels. And that entire pipeline, from initial ingest to the final scheduled queue, takes me under an hour once all the initial templates are locked in. I want to give you one extremely important creative tip. Do not treat every single clip like an isolated advertisement that has to perform alone. The absolute best engagement results come from sequencing your content strategically across days and weeks. Use the content calendar to plan out a micro-story where you start with a problem hook clip, follow up with a demo, and end the week with a testimonial. You stop just throwing content into the digital void. Instead, you are thoughtfully crafting a cohesive micro-story every single week. A quick word on the limitations and how this fits against other tools in your arsenal. Traditional editors like Premiere or Final Cut give you absolute control, but they inherently take an enormous amount of time to operate. Cheaper automated editors often completely butcher the quality or lock you into extremely limited music and audio libraries. Then you have the pricey enterprise solutions that handle scheduling, but they usually hit you with charges per seat and per post created. Vizard finds that perfect middle ground, offering great auto-edit quality, smart scheduling, and a calendar that genuinely assists with long-term planning. If you're a studio focusing on feature-length color grading or heavy visual effects, Vizard isn't trying to replace your high-end pipeline. It is specifically engineered to make your short-form content creation fast, highly repeatable, and reliably consistent. However, you must be careful not to over-automate everything because that human touch is still incredibly important for performance. I always manually glance through the top 50 suggested clips to tweak the first frame text or swap the final call to action for current promotions. Small edits, like changing an opening overlay from a generic phrase to a specific, compelling statistic, can seriously double your click-through rate. So what is the real tangible outcome of implementing this entire system for a business or creator? For a skincare creator I recently assisted, this system turned 8 long videos into 300 unique clip variations easily. We scheduled just 100 of those clips across the following 2 months and discovered 3 hooks that consistently outperformed all the others. Those top-performing hooks then immediately fed back into the creative briefs for all future live streams and product-focused posts. The entire content cycle then shortens significantly because you stop guessing what to film next and start using real data to guide your filming decisions. That compounding effect is truly how sustainable growth is achieved across all social platforms in the long run. If you want to replicate this success, start by creating that manifest sheet of all your long-form content sources. Next, run that analysis to reliably pull out all your valuable hooks, body segments, and clear calls to action. Then, feed those assets into Vizard for the rapid, intelligent auto-editing process that saves hours. Be sure to create those variation templates for captions and audio, and then let the scheduler handle all the heavy lifting of posting. Alright, that is the entire no BS workflow for content batching that I use myself every single week. It is always research first, automation second, and that crucial human tweak as the very last step in the chain. Vizard is not some magic switch, but it is absolutely the tool that makes that critical second step effortless. This process turns one evergreen piece of long-form content into a steady, reliable stream of bite-sized material for your audience. Take one day, batch a month's worth of edits, schedule it all out, and then just watch the consistency begin to pay massive dividends. If you'd like a starting checklist or even a copy of the Google Sheet template I use for the manifest, let me know. Just leave a comment below right now, and I will make sure to drop that resource in the next video I release. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.